24. Thank you.
Without objection.
Andy Biggs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's get to this thing. The Muslim ban that was mentioned. What countries were involved in the Muslim ban? Anybody know? I know. Anybody want to take a guess? I'll tell you who they were. Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, Yemen, and North Korea. Is North Korea a Muslim country? No, it is not. What do those countries, 6 of those 7 countries, have in common? Actually, they have in common that 4 of them were on President Obama's DHS terrorist watch list. The other 3, the other 4 were considered terrorism safe havens. Only 12% of Muslims around the world were impacted. And besides that, and Mr. Clem knows this, Mr. Camerata knows this, I would hope Mr. Isaacson knows this, there were exceptions for every one of those countries to come in, so there was not an absolute ban. Another lie told by the left. How about separation? This notion of separation. More than 325,000 unaccompanied children have been misplaced by this administration, admitted to. New York Times did a study. We had the director in, and she admitted it. That's a separation. You know what these guys got criticized for? There's about 4,000 people, kids that were separated, and they found them all, but a few. These guys can't find 325,000, but you're not going to hear my colleagues say anything about it. U.S. crime rate is not down, contrary to what you say. And why do we know that? Does LAPD report? No. Does New York report? No. Does Miami-Dade report? No. Do more than 6,000 police agencies obviate any reporting? That's the correct thing. They don't report. So when you say New York is down, guess what, friend? They don't report to the FBI anymore. They don't report anymore. They stopped reporting several years ago. Why is it? They've told me it's too hard to report. And so that's what you're relying on. You know what the CBP said about Tren de Aragua? Tren de Aragua is now moving into the Northeast. And they are. But crime is down for you. That's good for you, my friend. CBP numbers, you said they're way down. I'm looking at CBP numbers right here. I'm looking at them right here. And you know what I see? I see, let's see here. August of 2023, 304,000. They're down, you're right, almost 50%. They're down to 160,000. But you know what's interesting about that? Jay Johnson, Obama's DHS secretary said, look, if you have more than 1,000 a day, you've got a crisis. Mr. Clem, is that a crisis? You've been there. How many, in the last year that you were sector chief, fewer than 8,600 encounters in Yuma? Is that right?
In 2020, it was just approximately 8,800 arrests in Yuma. In 2021, it went up to 114,000. And then in 2022, it went up to 312,000. So we went up to over 1,000 a day just in Yuma alone.
Right. So if you take it, if you're standing on top of Mount Everest and you come down 1,000 feet, it may look like you've really descended a whole lot, but you ain't descended back to normal. And we're nowhere near normal. And that's the lie. That statistics that you guys are rallying around, it just blows my ever-loving mind. How about the bipartisan deal, the so-called bipartisan piece of crap deal out of the Senate? Mr. Clem, I read your statement, and what did you say? You said something like this. You said, it failed to address the border security requirements still needed by the U.S. Border Patrol. If enacted, it would codify a mandatory nationwide catch and release scheme for all populations. Anytime there is limited consequences of detention or removal, even returning to Mexico, incentivizes more people to make the dangerous journey. That dangerous journey, that's what's inhumane, is it not?
That's correct. The journey is dangerous.
And so the bill that you referred to as a better bill was H.R. 2, which has been languishing over in the Senate for over a year now. That was a bipartisan bill. That was a bill that would have made significant changes along the border. Quit lying. Let me tell you, how about CBP-1, the CBP-1 app? How is that figured in? How's that counted in? Is that counted in your encounters? Between ports of entry or at the port? No, it's not counted in. And you know what? You know what those numbers are? And this will take you right back up to 2023 levels. 530,000 migrants, okay, that's the CHNV program. 813,000 813,000 came in under the CBP-1. That takes you right back up to the 2023 levels, doesn't it not, Mr. Clem, Mr. Camerata? Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
And then when
Yes, if you add them together.
yeah, and then when you throw in the Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela numbers, now you're back right at maybe even a little higher than the 23 numbers. And that's the point that none of you all want to admit. You want to dance around it and you want to say, well, now they're legal. They got some kind of legal status. You know what they've got? They've got an illegal parole status, because parole under the INA is meant to be a singular, particularized parole status. But they've got categorical parole status here. And they know that's wrong, and that's where they should have stopped. And Mr. Chairman, my time's way over, but there's so much more to say here to rebut the crapola that we've heard here today. Yield.
Mr. Chair, since I know time went over, can I just add one thing?
If he's at,
It's in
if he's adding, I'm going to add. You got time before we started. I didn't get that time.
Oh, well, that's because I'm the ranking member.
Yeah,
of the
who
committee.
cares if you're the ranking member? If you ask for a regular order, then do regular order.
Thank you, sir. As ranking member, can I, since you had more time, just one quick thing. I just want to clarify that actually the gentleman is actually incorrect. Both the states of New York and California, the city of New York City, the city of Los Angeles, do send their reports and their crime reports, and they are included in the data. And so I just think that the facts are important, and I won't.
Yeah, they are. So I demand time to
definitely-
respond to that.
I definitely
because
won't
he just
correct
called-
every.
called me
I
a
won't
liar,
correct.
so
I won't
I
correct
want
every
that
misstatement.
time. I want that
but I did
time,
want
Mr.
to correct
Chairman.
those. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because if you look at the Marshall Project itself, which is not a conservative group, they will tell you. If you look at the FBI data, more than 52% of agencies don't report all of their data to FBI, and that's the facts. And facts are a stubborn thing, and doggone.
And lastly, like
go to Nancy.
having served as mayor for 8 years and had a police force of 600 police officers, did a great job. The city of Los Angeles, the city of New York, I can tell you, guarantee you, they report their
Nancy
data.
Mason.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And talking about extraordinary foolish, I know that was said earlier by one of our witnesses. It's not just cities, it's counties too.